Hello, everyone. Bashira here, and I am going to be talking about the challenges and opportunities of technology use and integration at my workplace, which is East Feliciana School District in East Feliciana Parish. So, a little bit of background about my district. It's a rural school district in East Feliciana, Louisiana. Um, it's particularly based out of Clinton, Louisiana. This rural parish spreads out across the cities of Slaughter, Clinton, and Jackson, Louisiana. We have 7 schools, 2,014 students. 58% of our families in the district come from low income background, and 82% are considered economically disadvantaged. Again, it's really known as like a country school district, and particularly my school, deep in Louisiana, in Clinton, Louisiana. It is a very small school district, and and it comes with, as you can expect, most of the challenges that most rural districts face. So here are the predominant challenges and potential opportunities of digital learning that I've identified. For challenges, we have lack of leadership and visionary, lack of resources or access to funding, resources in general really, outdated training and professional development to equipment, to emerging technological equipment. And then for potential opportunities, of course, we have to rebuild a team or a department for technology, assessment of funding needs and creation of buy-in for stakeholders, implementing regular professional development. Okay, so let's talk about challenge number 1, which is lack of leadership and visionary. Currently, our technology plan is outdated. The last time that the technology plan was in action and current was 2014. So there needs to be, of course, a new technology plan and vision, as well as overarching goals and concrete action steps to match those goals with a need for focus on advanced digital learning. Advanced digital learning. In addition, under this challenge, we have an understaffed technology department. Currently, we only have 3 employers in the entire district that serve as technology personnel and staff, and they are in charge of serving the entire district of 7 schools. And their roles are mostly geared towards infrastructure, as well as solving technical issues, maintenance of certain pieces of technology at the schools, etc. So the opportunity here would be to rebuild a whole entire technology team and department. And for this, we could use a strategic implementation tool to begin the creation of an adequate plan and viable action steps. Last week we learned about a very helpful tool and advanced structure as well, Future Ready Schools framework, which I am hoping to bring to my principal and my superintendent to see if it can jumpstart the process of rebuilding a department with advanced digital learning in mind. I think oftentimes when there is a huge problem, the issue, quite frankly, is that sometimes people don't know where to start or begin to solve the problem. And I think having a structure like Future Ready Schools framework would be very helpful in intentionally jumpstarting this plan or this rebuilding of infrastructure, a team, and a department. Okay, and the challenge number 2 would be lack of resources or access. Currently, we do have smart boards at the district level as a blanket technical tool in the classroom. We have Chromebooks, however, they are shared between co-teachers. So our subjects are departmentalized at my school. It's an elementary school. And so I teach ELA and social studies while I have a co-teacher that teaches math and science. Chromebooks are heavily used for math. In fact, I have never been able to access Chromebooks for my students just simply because there just isn't enough per grade level. And in math, their instruction relies heavily on the use of Chromebooks, while in ELA, there are more flexible options. So this brings me to the lack of digital learning tools in general. Besides the smartboard that only teachers are allowed to use, and the Chromebooks that are geared heavily towards math instruction, there aren't really any other technical tools such as tablets or Chromebooks for all subjects, or any student-friendly digital learning materials that could allow them to engage in more project-based learning or anything of that sort. We do have a computer lab, 2 computer labs at my elementary school, and the same thing with access to resources. It's only 2 computer labs, and so all teachers are having to vie for computer access time and things of that nature, and it kind of holds back the capabilities and possibilities of digital learning at our school. In addition, we also have an issue with outdated modes of performing administrative tasks, and the example I want to give is that teachers still sign in on paper with a pen and paper, yes, and then the secretary has to then go in and input our sign in and sign out sheet, sign in and sign out times in the computer, and yes, it's tedious and very outdated. In addition to that, teachers still use roll books to track attendance of students rather than opting for a digital mode of tracking students' attendance, which there are plenty that exist. We just haven't had the training or the go-ahead to perform certain administrative tasks online, even though there are free resources available. So the opportunity here will be to lead East Feliciana in the integration of digital learning by making an intentional step to curating funding, allocation, and involving stakeholders in our plans for innovative technology. And this would give the opportunity for stakeholders to invest in diverse school populations. Like I said, my school is in a very rural district. We're often, you could say, the forgotten stepchild of the statewide school districts. And yeah, this would give stakeholders the opportunity to invest in innovative digital learning so far as we are able to create the buy-in and be able to convince and persuade stakeholders that digital learning is sustainable in our district, and that we are going to use it to the best of our ability. There's also opportunities for curations of long-term funding sources. This is assuming that our vision includes our new proposed vision includes long-term overarching goals for digital learning. Okay, and to challenge number 3, which is training and professional development for digital learning implementation. And 3 things that I wanted to mention under this challenge. The first being lack of foundational technical training for implementation. While at this point it might seem like, oh, well, most people are tech savvy because we're living in a more increasingly tech savvy world, this is not the reality, especially as it pertains to school districts like mine, where the old school way of instruction has not yet made that shift to including and implementing technology. And this can also be linked to the lack of ongoing professional development for integration. We have not had one professional development session specifically geared towards technology implementation or integration. And it's a little bit challenging because as somebody who wants to implement technology in instruction, it's difficult without having the tools, the ideas, the I guess resources like research to back up and inform my instruction and my best practices as a teacher. And the last thing I wanted to mention was, of course, bridging the gap between pedagogy and technology. We have not had training in that arena as well, which makes it difficult for teachers to feel really confident in implementing technology, even if they wanted to, because it's the issue of just not knowing what are the best practices. Okay, and the opportunity that could arise from here is implementation of professional development, ongoing training. And three things I wanted to mention was breaking the old school mentality of strict paper/pencil learning. Like in my quiz, I mentioned how one challenge that I see reflected in my school is that teachers are really complacent. Some teachers are really complacent with paper pencil learning and feel that, oh, well, if it works, why try to implement technology? And so a lot of the work has to be done to include teacher buy-in as well as stakeholder buy-in. The second thing I'd wanted to mention was boosting confidence among teachers and leaders with technology integration and use, and making breakthroughs in best policies and practices for K through 12 digital learning. Because I don't only imagine that we would implement and integrate technology in our schools, but also that we would strive to take it to the next level and strive to be a leader for other districts, other rural parishes who are also wanting to make that shift to digital learning. Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate y'all tuning into my presentation, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Thank you.